This is Roger Strukov with Syscon TV. We're at day 2 at Cloud Expo in Santa Clara in the year 2014, and right now I'm sitting with Derek Tumulak, who is VP of Product Management at Vormetric. We're going to talk a little bit about threats. It seems like cyber threats have grown up from kids to very serious issues of national security, and we didn't talk about industrial espionage in the background, but that might be part of it too. Tell us a little bit about what Vormetric does and what you do, and then we can talk a little bit about these threats that we were mentioning.
So,
I'll just hang on. Yeah,
so Vormetric is a data security company. We secure information at rest. So, our customers are some of the largest organizations in the world, government agencies, financial institutions, retail, healthcare organizations. And the threats that are coming around today are really, from either state-sponsored activities, organized crime, and the intent is really to steal information that these organizations hold, take that information, and ultimately sell it. So there's a lot of value around that information today. And so what Vormetric really does is help these organizations really lock down that data and ensure that only the intended authorized users can really gain access to that information.
Things are probably evolving, sort of like viruses in the real world, evolving at a kind of a rapid pace, right?
Yeah, absolutely. You feel like you make 3 steps forward and then you get pulled back 2 steps. I mean, as I said, organized crime, hackers, attackers, they're very creative. They're trying to find new ways to break into systems. So every time you evolve something, somebody tries to find a way around it.
You were on a panel earlier today with a lot of other folks here at the event, and I think the topic came up a little bit. Edward Snowden came up, and just in the context of the NSA, how did that conversation go? Because I missed that particular part of the conversation.
Well, specifically, that was around the notion of stealing information, and it was really also, we were talking about Europe and some of the privacy laws there, and the fact that cloud service providers typically set up data centers in the U.S., particularly U.S.-based ones. And so the question was, what do organizations or customers over in Europe think about that? Are they okay with CSPs having data centers that reside in the U.S.? And so what we discussed was the fact that a lot of times they're in fact demanding that they set up infrastructure and data centers in their respective countries because they don't trust the fact that this is a U.S.-based organization. For example, the U.S. Patriot Act is a great example of that. So there's generally speaking, distrust, across different countries and so forth, and so that notion of you want to be able to maintain control of information within country boundaries, as an example.
And your company's based in Canada, is that correct?
No, the company's actually based here in San Jose, California.
And so there you go. But you have customers in Canada, though. I think we were talking about the differences. What I was trying to get at here is, so meanwhile, across the border, in theory, those problems don't exist. But what's your experience been with the company?
So we do have customers in Canada. We have customers globally. And I think the biggest consideration, and in fact, after the Edward Snowden event last year, a lot of our European customers in particular came to us and said, are you working with the NSA? Do you have any backdoors into your technology? And of course, the answer is no. We wouldn't be able to have a viable product that could secure information across the world if we were, if we ultimately had a backdoor to steal information. That would go against a lot of the core values in terms of what we work towards.
So when I'm driving down the road in San Jose, I'll probably drive right past the headquarters and go, yeah, of course they're here. The thing is that now I'd like to just look a little bit into the future as things evolve. Like you say, you take 3 steps forward, you take 2 steps back. Without really revealing any secrets, what sort of challenges do you think you're going to be facing over just the next year or two? Because I think things are moving pretty fast.
Yeah, so the biggest challenges are just the evolving nature of these attacks. And if you think of, you hear the word APTs, which is advanced persistent threats, the real goal is to break into an organization. The term that's used is escalate privileges, which means become a super user or a root user of some sort. And frankly, extract as much information as you can out of the organization. And we're seeing that at so many different organizations. I won't name any organization, but there's a lot of retailers, financial institutions that are experiencing this today. So the challenge is really, I think, as we look forward, is really for organizations to make the right investments and to create the right strategies around how they protect data at a holistic level. Not just, think of like, a dam that's about to break, for example. You don't want to just plug and patch certain things. You want to think about the overall integrity of the structure itself, and that's really the holistic view that people need to be thinking about.
And probably, success with your company is measured by not being known and your clients not being known almost. And you don't want to reveal your secrets to the bad guys. So I'm imagining many times you think of sort of no news is good news.
Absolutely, and I'll just, as a kind of a mini story to go along with what you just said, we had a pretty high-level meeting within the company yesterday, and on one end we were talking about marketing, on the other side we were talking about IT infrastructure and security, and so that notion of if one side is much more successful, the marketing side, then we need to be thinking a lot more seriously about our IT infrastructure because we're basically painting a target on ourselves. So, that comes with success in any fashion, right? The bigger you are, the bigger of a target you become, and that's true for any company or any individual, frankly.
Yeah, the problems of success, you can live with them. We've been talking with Derek Tumulak from Vormetric. We're talking about security and threats, and we know it's going to get more complex. I don't think there's any reason to be paranoid or scared for enterprises. You have companies there that are going to take care of you. This is one of them. So thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. For Syscon TV, this is Roger Struckhoff.